Hey, what is going on, everybody? You already know. It is time. It is the 215 Boys post-game show. My name is Paul Spencer. I'm joined with the other side here. The winning team tonight, a.k.a. the Joe Sullivan from the Silly Spot. What's going on, brother? Oh, Joe, you muted there. Hold on.
Feeling very fortunate to escape with that win.
Yeah, Joe. They always say, I don't want to jump right into it, but they say game is always a game of inches. Tonight, we actually seen that.
Yes.
Look, Joe, a lot of my friends out there text me and said, "Oh, you're embarrassed tonight. Your butt hurt. Your ass hurt." No. Joe, I'll tell you what. I want to ask you a question. I want to put, we keep it real here, no matter what we talk about, any sport. I want to ask you a question. Should I be more embarrassed tonight that we lost, or should an Eagle fan be more embarrassed about the almost game that gave away the game away tonight?
I'll keep it 100 with you. I don't think either team should be quote unquote embarrassed. I mean, now I will say the Eagles almost had that was almost the biggest meltdown I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you punt the football, and it's funny because you put on the group chat, you're like, "Oh, and I made it a point to tell you, I'm like, bro, you guys are getting the ball back."
You did, Joe.
and I thought you were having like a Jedi mind trick on me. You know what I mean? Like,
I am, Joe. Yeah, ball back. You know how I am. I try to play those Belichick rules. That little mind trick on you, like, "Go, Joe, it's over." And Joe goes into mindset like, something's going to happen here. Turpin's going to return something or something. But when I said that, Joe, I went upstairs. I got the stream ready, so I had the TV up here now, and I'm like, wait, this is big screen ready here. I got to go back downstairs and watch this. When you said that, then I'm like, okay, but what a game tonight, Joe. What a game tonight.
Yeah, so, to finish answer your question, though, it almost was the biggest meltdown. The Eagles escaped with the win. Horrible defensive sequence at the end. I mean, giving up the penalties. You can't commit penalties like that. I mean, you guys had no timeouts with like, what, 40 some?
46 seconds, I think it was, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, inside your own 20. In that particular situation, you basically you almost got a Jim Schwartz that, John. You play the sticks. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell's wrong? At that point, you give Dallas a 15, 20-yard completion, and you tackle them in bounds, and you make them run the clock. Brad Bradbury, I don't know what the hell he was. First off, I don't know how he wound up man for man on your wide receiver, and secondly, for a veteran like him to not find the fucking football in that band, that was. That was one of the worst. That was one of the worst plays from a veteran corner that I've ever seen in a money time situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was fundamental football, mistakes free. But Joe, a lot of people are blaming the refs tonight. I understand there was
no way,
but Joe, there was missed calls on both sides. I put that aside, brother. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Are we going to blame Dak for going out on the 2-point conversion at the 1-yard line? Are we going to blame him for the rest for that? No, I'm not going to put it there. But Joe, I give you credit 100%. I want to go to the very last 46 minute of the game here. I give you guys so much credit because we were burning the defense there. We were running the ball, through the middle a little bit near the end. We're throwing the ball downfield. CeeDee Lamb, of course, 180 yards there. But I give you credit for that defense, Joe. A false start by Dallas, of course. That was a penalty that killed us too. Moved us back, 10 yards there. 2 back-to-back sacks, Joe. Your defense stepped up when it was time, though. They showed up.
Right, exactly. Well, and 2 consecutive possessions. I mean, first off, Brandon Graham. I mean, any Eagles fans out there watching this will know there might not be a more clutch Eagle than Brandon Graham. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles would have never won a Super Bowl without Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham with huge plays, veteran leadership. Josh Sweat with a huge sack, and the young guy Jalen Carter with a big pressure. And you brought up the refs, and listen, full disclosure, obviously I'm an Eagles fan. I thought the Gilmore call was extremely weak. All right.
Yeah.
I saw Parsons blatantly get held at least a few times, but
so was Carter.
But it also, exactly. I also saw Jalen Carter get held. I saw Reddick get held a couple times. They were, and to be honest with you, I thought there was some ticky-tack calls on both sides. Like some of the defensive illegal contact and all that shit. I thought they called it a little tight in the secondary, both ways though.
Yeah, I mean, we're NFC East here. We play bully ball, of course, both sides of the ball here. That's what we're known for. That's the NFC East. I thought they were going to play a little bit more physical. The refs letting them play a little bit, like in basketball, bang in the box a little bit. a lot of the calls, like you said, Joe, were a little ticky-tack, harmless fouls here, play-on fouls, like let them play on. But I want to read some of the comments here real quick, Joe. We got quite a few comments. Linda saying hi, Paul. Of course, he says hi, Joe. Thanks
Hey,
for
what's
tuning
up,
in, Linda.
Linda? How you
Mike
doing?
Morrow's checking in. You can say, "What's up, boys? Classic game tonight, Mike." It definitely was.
It really was.
Definitely was both sides of the ball. As a fan of the Eagles, not an Eagles fan, Cowboys fan, we can say this was a great game, of course. Ken Fry says, "What's up, fellas? Great freaking game. Nothing to hang your head about." No, I'm happy this game too. I really am. It's a loss, but I'm very proud of this team tonight. And I congratulate the Eagles. Of course, they played a hell of a game too. Eddie Prather says Dak being Dak in clutch time. I disagree with that, brother.
So
Dak, what did Dak do tonight wrong? I mean, you look at his numbers, brother. I don't know what you're seeing out there, Eddie. Not because I'm a Cowboy fan, but bro, 29 for 44, 374, 3 TDs, no picks, game-winning drive all the way down to the 5-yard line. Hey, blame the offensive line on that last series there, brother. That's what happened there.
Hey, bro. I feel like that was one of Dak's. Coming from my perspective, that was one of Dak's best games I've seen him play in a long time. I mean, I was scared shitless when Dak had that ball. And here's one too, to put it in perspective. How many times did you guys have 3rd and 15? At least two or three times you had 3rd and 15. You wound up converting. Not maybe. Well, the one time I think you got it to, but I think both times you got it to 4th and short, and then you wound up converting. But Dak. In my opinion, I thought Dak was money, and two of the things I was concerned about coming into this game, I was concerned about CeeDee Lamb and Ferguson over the middle. And even though the Eagles won the football game, my concerns haven't been alleviated. We spoke before the show. Mm-hmm. I thought as good as Dak played, I thought him and the coordinator made a huge mistake going to Tolbert on that 4th and 8 and not going over the middle to Ferguson. Now, CeeDee Lamb was bracketed. I don't think you could have got it to Lamb because they had Slay on him, and they had and if you saw the replay, they had Blankenship kind of there too. Mm-hmm. But Ferguson, I think if you guys threw it to Ferguson, I think you would have had the first down.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Everybody's, with Dak, I would agree with that comment by Eddie there saying Dak being Dak in clutch time. If Dak drove the ball down there inside the 30 and threw a pick, but he was on tonight, man. He was making good reads, climbing the pocket, getting outside the pocket, using his legs, finding receivers. The slant game was there tonight, and CD was all over the place. He eyed down CD, but he didn't forget about Hendershot tonight. I'm sorry, Ferguson tonight. He didn't forget about him. He played a great game. To me, I put on Facebook, Joe, now's the time for Dak to show what he's about. It's time. Last drive here. Show me what you are. No disrespect to him tonight. 100%. Dak, you're the man tonight. You did what you could. Only thing I blame is that offensive line in the last 2 minutes of the game there, Joe. Giving up 2 sacks, 2 false starts. That's what killed us there. But, hey, it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Dallas's offensive line played a good game for 58 for maybe about 55 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 drives, Brandon Graham with the back-to-back plays, and then Josh Sweat and Carter with big plays. And Adam Popple has it right there. Josh Sweat with a huge sack, and that's entirely right. And my biggest takeaway from this game, is I feel like the margin between these 2 teams is razor thin. I fully expect there to be a third matchup in the playoffs. I'd be shocked if there isn't.
Yeah, the way these teams played tonight, Joe, I definitely can see that. I mean, yes, you guys have that lead. You guys are 8-1 now. We dropped to 5-3, of course. But Joe, the way they're playing tonight, if the Cowboys can play this way continuously, we do have a tough schedule. You guys have a gauntlet coming up too. But I see these 2 teams getting to the playoffs. One, of course, is the wild card. I see you guys win a division. I definitely do. I've always said that. And I see the Cowboys getting the wild card. But we're going to see a round 3 in this year, Joe. We get a round 2 in 3 or 3 weeks here again. But I definitely see a round 3. And it tells me something that the Eagles need to suffice a major issue, the slot receiver, that's secondary. If they don't upgrade that, Dallas can beat this team, and so can other teams as well. Dallas showed tonight that they can play with the elite teams. They shut down A.J. Brown tonight, Joe. They shut down Devontae Smith. He had yards, but they didn't get the ball that much. And, Joe, the total offense is something I want to talk about really quick. Jalen Hurts, 207 yards, 2 TDs. Great game for him, managed the game. But, Joe, 183 yards and 109 yards rushing the ball. Under 300 yards total. and the Cowboys outgained them in every category tonight. If I look at the box score, I'm thinking like, holy shit, the Cowboys must have ran away with this game. But hey, you win in the trenches. You come up at the right time. Give you Luke's the credit.
Yeah, but here's the one thing about Jalen Hurts, though, because obviously he does put up a lot of big numbers, but Jalen Hurts does some things that numbers don't show. And for example, all right, at the end of the first half, he's hobbled, right?
Then he comes right out and run the ball. Right. Then he comes right next play and runs the ball after the first half. Yeah.
So here, in my opinion, here's a really big scenario in the game. We go into halftime. You guys are up 17-14. Jalen Hurts immediately comes out, first possession, drops a freaking dime to Devontae Smith. I mean, yes, Jalen Hurts didn't have the numbers of Dak, but that pass was unbelievable. He couldn't have walked it out to him any better. So the Eagles, so Jalen's a straight up warrior, bro. Like he literally puts that ball right on Devontae Smith. Perfect pass, right?
A dime. Yeah.
Then the Eagles come out and stop Dallas, right? Which was a huge stop. I mean, I know you guys moved the ball up and down the field a lot of the game. Defense comes out and stops. The Eagles come down, score again. So, in my opinion, like that little what do you call it? Like sequence right there was so huge in this game because all of a sudden it got the Eagles up by 11 points.
Great. Yeah. I mean, it was just a game all around game, Joe. I mean, to this game here, I tell you, I didn't want a better heavyweight fight, honestly, as a fan of the game, number one. Let's get to my comments here. Stacy's saying hello, guys. You can check Stacy out every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. with the Big Blue Power Hour. How'd your Giants do today, Stace? I forgot. I didn't see that game, but anyway. Did you hear Danny Jones tore his ACL, Joe?
Yeah, I feel bad for the kid. I mean, it's a shame, I mean, I know, obviously I know a lot of people out there are treating him, but a lot of people out there are like, oh, Daniel Jones. I mean, he signed that big contract, the team stinks. But I don't like to see anybody get hurt, so it's a shame.
Exactly, 100%. Let's see. Eileen checking in saying, as a fan of either team, there was nothing to be embarrassed about either team. That was two powerhouses going at it. 100%.
Totally agree.
100%. You can't lay your head down on this game, I'll tell you that. Rob Hepner checking in from Vegas. Rob says 28-23, Eagles, wow. What an intense game. In the words of pro wrestling legend Jim Ross, this was a real slobber knocker game. Almost gave me a heart attack. Jesus Christ almighty. Rob, I was the same way, brother. I was screaming. I'm surprised I have a voice with this right now. It was one hell of a slobber knocker. Definitely was.
Well, I was going to say, when Lieb started talking shit to you guys, I put it in the chat. I was like, dude, if the Eagles lose this game, I said, hammer his ass. And then, it was so funny when the Eagles almost had the most epic fucking meltdown I've ever seen. Like I looked because he was out watching the game. I just looked at him. I literally just glanced at him and was like,
"Oh, you were with him. You were with him today. You were with him today when he put all that on Facebook."
Yeah. We went to the VFW. We went to the VFW and watched the game.
Because I see his Facebook post something like Eagles are kicking Dallas's ass, and I was like, bro, it's 21-17, bro. He's like, the Eagles got to this. So I was like, okay, John. Then all of a sudden they scored, and I'm like, all right, John, you got quiet for a second. You're going to be the mush here. Keep talking, John. Keep talking.
Well, you know what's funny? It was the end of that game was torture because I can't drink right now, right? I think I told you my crown popped off last week. So here I couldn't get my crown replaced. I had to get my tooth pulled, and then I'm going to get an implant. So I'm on an antibiotic. So I went out to watch the game. And I was fine the whole day. I'm like, all right, I don't need to drink, whatever. I'm watching the game. When you guys had that ball, that last drive, I was like, God damn it, I need a couple beers. I said, we blow this game, dude.
No,
you know what I mean?
I was the same way. I was actually empty before the game, so I couldn't do anything, that's how crazy it was. But let's get to the comments here. I didn't want to disregard anybody with comments there. Of course, Adam said Josh with that huge sack. Of course, him and Brandon Graham had those huge sacks, of course. Eileen says, that was everything I wanted in the game of the week. Exactly. That's why it was America's game of the week, right? It
was.
Mike Lauro saying the two best teams in the NFC. I kind of agree with that. Dallas got beat by the Niners. They got caught at the right time. Very simple. Better team won, but move it on to the season. That's why we play, 18 weeks here, Joe, Scott Shell, the great game. We tried giving the game to the Cowboys 3 turnovers toward the last few seconds. Yeah, I mean, it was, but hey, the better team came out and won. The defense converted at the right times, of course. Eddie saying, regarding the Dak, Dak being Dak, the 2-point conversion. Brother, listen, you're running down full speed on the sideline there. A game of inches, brother. You can't, I'm not gonna agree with that one. You step out of bounds, you step out of bounds. You know what I mean? It's I mean, as a running back, are you going to look at the boundaries? You're running for your life there to a 2-point conversion. He did extend the ball, but hey, you know what? You hit the out of bounds line. Not a big deal.
It's funny though that, I mean, obviously it's very fortunate for me and unfortunate for you, obviously. But if that doesn't happen, then we're at least going overtime.
Yeah, I mean that takes away 2 points right there. Then your odds are you're going to kick that field goal late at the end down there,
Sure.
Joe. When we missed that one for Ferguson there on the 1-yard line, maybe that's a different opportunity. You get that 2-point conversion, you say, okay, well, I'm down a certain amount now. I don't have to score and go for 2. I can get the field goal now, and this get a field goal to tie the game later on. You know what I mean? That was something huge too. But it is what it is. He said he shouldn't have taken the sack to throw the ball away. In that last sack there, I agree with that one. But that would have been intentional grounding. He didn't have any opportunities to throw the ball up. They could have thrown intentional grounding on that.
Yeah.
He was not out of the hash marks. And the refs, the way they're calling the game right now, I don't want to live or die by a bullshit, intentional grounding call. So it is what it is.
That would have been tough. And also, since you guys were out of timeouts with intentional grounding, wouldn't that have required? Would that have possibly required a 10-second runoff? So that wouldn't have been worse, right?
If we had a timeout, we can avoid the 10-second runoff, but we didn't have it at that point. So it's a 10-second runoff. Game's over right there, basically. So it is what it is. At least we were in the game. Mike says he did call Ferguson going off. Yeah, exactly. Ferguson, Joe said it as well. The tight ends give you guys fits. Goddard in the middle with you guys too. I mean, he showed something I did mention in the pregame, Joe. When the one play by the way, how's Goddard? Any update on him?
Nah, it's the fact that he didn't come back in and it's a forearm injury is a little concerning. I mean, I guess we'll see. But it wouldn't shock me. I mean, well, the Eagles have the bye coming up, so that's a great. Right. Yeah. But it wouldn't. I mean, I just hope it's not like a season ender. But it wouldn't shock me if that was like maybe like a 4 to 5 week injury. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I mean, it all kind of depends on how bad it is.
Yeah, I mean, I know Marquise Bell, when he did that play, looked like he had a Ronda Rousey armbar on him. He tried to take him down by that. But I mean, hey, I said in the pregame, I was like, Marquise Bell is a good safety when he comes down the box playing linebacker. With Overshawn out and Bandersnatch out. He had to come down. He's a light linebacker. So you have to ride the bull sometimes. So I mean, he had to do what he had to do on Goddard. But let's see where we at now. Scott Shelton checking in. Yes, sir. And Brandon Graham. Yeah, those were 2 big sacks. Look, we talked about, of course, huge sacks, Scott. Let's see. And the penalties on the Eagles defense got Dallas that close. Yeah, I mean, they
were legit penalties.
They were.
Like I said, Bradbury, I don't know what the hell he was doing. I just, for the life of me, I don't know how you let somebody get behind you when there's 40 fucking seconds left and they have no timeouts. I mean, that is exactly where you big. I mean, honestly, bro, if you guys got even a 25-yard completion and got tackled in bounds, I wouldn't have given a shit.
Exactly. I mean, at that point, you keep it in front of you. You don't let anything behind you, right? And for that to happen, that's just fundamental, what they call brain fart or some shit like that, Joe. Honestly,
terrible. Terrible.
Let's see. Got to give it to Dak. He didn't make his usual careless interceptions. I agree. That's why I give credit to Dak tonight. Listen, I'm not going to say he outplayed Jalen, but numbers-wise, he played one hell of a game to me. He proved something to me. Like, you know what? I'm not afraid now. If I'm down 7, Joe, or down 6. I'm not afraid to have Dak in that last drive now after seeing what I've seen tonight, Joe.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the Eagles' saving grace was the D line dialed up the pressure, and that was
the right time. Mm-hmm.
And that was huge. But that's what great football teams do. I mean, this was a battle of 2 really good football teams, and the Eagles defensive line made the plays when they needed to make them, and that's pretty much what won the game.
Mm-hmm. TJ checking in says we won another game that we didn't play well against a very good team. That's what I said in my pregame, Joe. The Eagles are 7-1, and they haven't put anything together tonight. They beat I want to say an upper echelon. I don't want to say elite and Dallas Cowboys, but an upper echelon team, and they didn't play the greatest game tonight either, Joe. They haven't put it together yet.
Can I kind of say I agree with him and disagree on one, and the reason is because one of the reasons the Eagles didn't play well, I actually think the Eagles did play well. I think sometimes now last week against Washington, totally agree with them. We turned the ball over a million times. I mean, did the Eagles mess up a few things? Yeah. I mean, first off, they almost pulled a Joe Pisarcik with that fumble. All right, that was almost not miracle at the link, but nightmare at the link. You know what I mean? I don't know how the fuck that happens.
Very true.
Okay?
Very true. Yeah.
But let's keep it real. The Eagles didn't turn the ball over against the Dallas team that forces a lot of turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Eagles didn't have a ton of yards, but the Dallas defense is top 5, probably top 5 in the National Football League. So, would I say that the Eagles didn't play that well? No, I don't know if I necessarily can say that. I think this was just two evenly matched teams. It's almost like they say styles make fights.
Yeah.
This is two football teams that are very, very evenly matched in a lot of ways. And some of Dallas's strengths, a la CeeDee Lamb in the slot, a la Ferguson over the middle, are Eagles' weaknesses. So that is going to make you sometimes not look as good. You know what I'm saying?
To me, it was a chess match, Joe. I mean, just like you said, CD in the slot, that's our advantage, of course, there. To me, yes, you have wide receivers. We did a hell of a job shutting those down. They didn't get, what they should have done tonight, 100 yards for AJ, and Devontae had his, but not the greatest game. But to me, it was the defensive line. They contained Pollard in many ways tonight. Total 100 yards rushing between 4 running backs for us. That was your strong suit. You put pressure on Dak Prescott. Give credit to Dak. He climbed the pocket. He got a couple first downs with his legs. Jalen did the same thing. And to me, it was just a chess match, Joe. You give me your best slug. Okay, I avoid that. I'm coming out with an uppercut. That's the way this game was tonight for 4 quarters, all the way up until the last, minute, basically. That's, to me, it was one hell of a match. It's like Rob said, it's a slobber knocker tonight to me. Let's see. Let's get back to the comments really quick here. Hurts quarterback rating is behind in games is over 100. Yeah, I mean, he's money. He's money at the right time, dude. That's what it is. That's what you want to see for your QB. Definitely. Let's see. Excuse me. TJ says Jalen's only got one number that he cares about. W. That's a team leader, Joe. That's a team leader right there. You know what I mean? Definitely a team leader on that one. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at his stats last year: elite quarterback, Pro Bowl quarterback. Elite category. Number wise, great. Lost Super Bowl. Okay, dissatisfied. Come back. I don't care about my rushing yards. I don't care about my TDs. I want the dub. Who cares? That's what I see there. That's what's just great. He says Hurts plays great when he gets behind the 8 ball. I agree with that. He's elite to me. Nothing phases him. He's cool as an ice. That's cool as a cucumber, I guess they say. But
yeah,
I know it's not a number. I know it's not a number. I don't know what that means, TJ. But sorry about that. I don't think there is a QB that I would take over Hurts when behind. Right. What do you say about that, Joe? Is Hurts the number 1 QB when you're behind? Say you're down 6 points and you need that, or down 5, you need that TD. That's 6 points without the extra point.
Hurts is up there. I mean, I still got to. I know he's not having the greatest year, but I think part of it's his weapon. I still got to go Mahomes number 1, but Hurts is up there. I mean, but I got to go Mahomes number 1. But I can't really argue with Eddie. I can't really argue with them. I mean, Hurts is definitely, top 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
I agree 100%. I'm still going to put Mahomes up top.
Me too.
Being the fact, Joe, looking at the game here, we talked about this, you and I, on many categories, Joe. Many times we talk off air, on the phone, whatever. And I always say, if you put Jalen Hurts on the Kansas City team and you bring Mahomes on this Eagle team with these weapons, what would the numbers be like with more weapons? So I have to go with Mahomes being that one category to me. If I'm down 5, I need a touchdown. But Jalen Hurts, you're a prize position number 2 for me. Definitely are. Definitely. Adam says absolutely back-to-back by Graham at one and a half sacks tonight. I mean, Graham played one hell of a. This is like Joe said. He shows up. You wouldn't have won that Super Bowl without him. You know what I mean? He played up. He showed up in the right times. 100% back there. TJ says Dak played great. Anyone putting this loss on him is confused. I agree. I mean, listen, I don't get it how you can look at these numbers and say, everybody out there would say Dak shits the bed. Dak doesn't show up in playoff time. He doesn't show up in big games.
He showed up today.
Well, he showed up big time. I mean, listen, if I'm walking out there, Joe, I know it's not a moral victory, but if I'm Dak, I'm walking out there, I'm saying, at least I proved some people wrong tonight. I didn't shit the bed. I didn't throw that late pick. I wasn't confused. I read the right decisions. I made the right decisions. We were in the game until the very end. Very simple to me. But
hey, I think both of these teams go to sleep tonight. Any one of these players, and they look in the mirror and they realize to themselves, you know what? If we play 10 times, it might be 5-5.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, these teams were evenly matched. It showed tonight. Disregard records, Joe. I don't care about that. These two teams, the way they play, man, this could be the NFC East championship if it falls down that way. Honestly, if the cards pan out that way, Joe.
You know what this was? You know what this was? This was Rocky. This was Rocky. I have Rocky on the. Well, no. Listen, I got to tell you something, right? I have Rocky on the brain because yesterday I'm on the treadmill and there's a great documentary on Netflix about Sylvester Stallone. It was
Okay.
It was really good, and ironically, they had one about Arnold Schwarzenegger on a few months ago.
Mhm.
And dude, it's not to get off topic, but it's amazing how similar these two guys are. Like they both had similar upbringings, like with how their fathers were and all, and they both were so driven. But anyway, that's not really the point. It got me thinking of Rocky. And you know how in Rocky 2, you have Apollo and Rocky are both in the hospital, and they both and like they bait the shit out of each other, right? And there's that mutual respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're both out there killing each other, and you got that mutual respect. And like honestly, like there's, you know, whether you're a Dallas football player or an Eagles football player, you go to bed tonight and you sit there and you go, like, if you're an Eagles player, you're like, man, thank God we won that game. And if you're Dak and you're Dallas, you're going, hey, you know what? We get these guys again. And I think I think both these teams know that it's a freaking war. Get your as T.O. would say, get your popcorn ready because
you know, and Joe, we always talk about it's the media, it's the fans out there that make the different hate version out there. Like I get a different version when you came to my house. I get all the channels, so I was watching a different version at the end of the game. And I see the mutual respect between players, Joe. You know, you're the Eagles guy, I'm the Cowboys guy. I don't know if you guys caught this, but after the game, CeeDee Lamb went up to A.J. Brown and Slay at the same time, smacked hands with them, and they were joking around like they were about to go to the bar together, Joe. It's that mutual respect, like you're great, I'm great. We'll see you again. We know that. You know what I mean? That's what makes the game 100%. Adam says, really don't know how you can criticize Dak. He was ripping the defense apart. He played elite tonight, man. He played elite. 374 yards, 3 TDs, no picks. QBR of 115. Played a great game. Bill Furman checking in. You can check out myself and Bill every Wednesday night on College Football Friends. They got a lot to talk about this week. And also every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on Philly Press Box Radio. Please check them out. Good game, a real heavyweight bout. It definitely was, Bill. Definitely was. Nothing to hang my head on tonight. So Adam says, I honestly hated the Reddick penalty. They got it called, but he eased up. There was – Joe, I want to ask you off topic really quick. I do want to ask you, did you catch that Redskin game?
I honestly, I had it on because, I'm like you, Paul. I have every game, but I wasn't. I'd be lying. I wasn't really watching it intently, so I don't really. I know if there's a particular play, no, I didn't. I don't know what play you're talking about.
If you get a chance, Joe, I don't want to.
Wait a minute.
The QB sack. By
I do know.
Sweat.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That was a disgrace. I know what you're talking about. I thought you were for some reason we were going to talk about a play late in the game. I do remember that play. That was a freaking disgrace.
When is a QB sack roughing the quarterback, Joe? What is this? What is this league coming to? I don't get it.
That was one of the worst calls I've ever seen in my life. He didn't
I don't get it. Let's see. Eddie says, Paul, do you think Jerry messed up not having a better plus block? I honestly, I'll get to that real. I'll say what I want to say. Joe, I want to hear your philosophy on this too. To me, I think they need a bigger back. At the trade deadline, I wanted to give up a first-round pick and a second-round pick to go get Henry. You need that bigger back because Pollard's explosive, but he's not that 1, 2, 3 down back to me. I hate saying it, but Zeke brought a lot of enthusiasm to him and a lot of help to him too. You need a bigger back. I don't really want to see the pass blocking running back in there because Dallas doesn't play a lot of two back set. They don't play twin sets. They don't do that, or split backs, whatever you want to call them. To me, I wanted a bigger back because Dallas does have 3 great tight ends. We've seen that tonight, chipping on the outside. Mm-hmm. That's what they need to do. I don't agree with the pass blocking running back. Pollard can hit blocks. We know that. But I want a bigger back to expel Pollard or come before Pollard too. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, it's so funny you said that because as an opposing fan, I was thinking, my God, I'm glad you guys don't have Zeke anymore.
The big blocker, yeah.
Yeah. Well, just because Pollard's a nice back. I like Pollard as a player, but you don't really have a different dimension. Like you said, like Zeke always killed the Eagles. Even the last couple of years when Zeke was quote unquote washed up, Zeke still found a way to score touchdowns versus the Eagles. And when you guys in particular, when you guys had it down the red zone, if you had Zeke, you would have had Zeke in that situation. And one thing Zeke still knows how to do, he could still find his way into the end zone. I'm really glad that you didn't have another running back. Yeah, and I like Pollard as a player, but I think you're seeing what the difference is between being a 1-2 punch and then being the main guy.
Yeah, it shows. I mean, you look at the depth chart. We have Rico Dowdy and Deuce Vaughn active tonight at the running back spot. I mean, that to me, what if they take away the passing, the Slay and Bradbury, the secondary comes down and they don't give CD a yard off the ball. It comes down to the trenches. I'm not going to ride with Pollard this game and have Rico Dowdy in there, Joe. It just tells me that Dallas is very light there. You guys have the running backs, Gainwell with lightning speed, a Penny that showed little glimpses tonight too. That's what you guys have. We don't have that, Joe. But Evan checking in. You can check out Evan every Monday at 4:30. Joystick Junkies. He says both teams are good, and also Big Blue Power every Sunday as well. Bill Furman brings a great point here, Joe. 20 penalties, 181 yards for both teams.
I agree with Bill.
And get the refs out of this game. To me, Bill, we talk about this on college. Play on. Let them play on. Let them play on, especially in crucial moments. But
I was going to say I agree with Bill wholeheartedly. I mean, there was some serious ticky-tack stuff going on in both ways. Now, like I said, though, the last drive, I mean, you had to throw. I mean, you had to throw the flag on Bradbury. I mean, some of those calls you had to throw. Mm-hmm. But yeah, some of that stuff was ticky-tack. I agree.
Yeah, and it's the worst part as a fan of the game where you watch the game, you respect the game on both sides, regardless of what jersey you're wearing. To see the game, live, and you see a bad penalty, you feel bad for the other team. Like, oh man, that was bogus. That shouldn't have been called too. That could have cost you the entire game there. A drive down penalty or whatever. Fuji checking in, saying, "What's good, fellas? EAGLES." I'll give you that one. EAGLES Eagles. I'll say it. What the hell? You guys won. Give credit.
Fuji will be on with me tomorrow night on the Sully spot at 6. So make sure you check us out tomorrow night. We'll be.
Well, then you know what? How since the Eagles won, how about we throw Fuji a bone? How about we put him on this week at 6:30 on Wednesday? He's coming back with Fuji's Flair this week too.
Oh, nice.
So there we go. TJ, you got 2-1 on Fuji this week. TJ with a paragraph. Our special team sucked again, except for one punt. We gave up too many on third, and longs. If we don't get to the QB, we get shredded. We have work to do. And that's to me, Joe. The special teams. I talked to Marcus, Thomas on the show last week, and he said, Covey's playing a lot better. He's more patient. But I tell you, that was one of the advantages I said on the pregame show at Turpin. If Turpin can get loose, he had some great runs tonight. One called back, a big one. But special teams. How do you feel about your special teams moving forward?
Well, I'm not really in love with the punter. Our kicker's great. Covey's okay. I think Covey's getting better. Our special teams isn't as good as Dallas special teams, but they're better than they were last year. And the Eagles actually made a nice little hidden move, and you saw it when Turbin got his ribs hurt. Derek Barnett hasn't done shit for us all year. He doesn't even have a pressure. So they finally benched him, and they put Patrick Johnson in number 48. And he made a nice open field tackle on one of the first either I think it was a kickoff or a punt. I don't remember, but gotcha. He made a nice play on Turbin. So Eagle special teams is better than it was last year. Last year it was a real weak point. It's still not great, but at least it's a little better.
Gotcha. Eddie checking in says, I would take Hurts over Mahomes. I mean, that's an opinion. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, but right now I would probably take, you can't go wrong with either one. Hell, if I get either one in there on my last drive, I'm cool with it. I got a chance to win. These guys are going to put you in position to win. So I agree with both of them, honestly. We talked about this. Fuji, Dallas Goedert, Joe said he was taken back to the locker room. No, nothing yet. I haven't been on Twitter to look on that, of course. But, prayers out to him, man. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, regardless of what team you're on.
Yeah,
that's just me.
I don't think anybody's going to really know anything until tomorrow. They're probably going to have to give him like an MRI. And, they gave him x-rays, I think, but they're probably going to have to give him an MRI or something, to see what the hell's really wrong.
Yeah, you got to let that swelling go down overnight, then you'll get one, like a precautionary tonight to, if anything's broken, x-ray, whatever. But, nothing was reported yet, so you got to wait till tomorrow for the MRI. But prayers go out to him, man, 100%. TJ says, Mahomes is a better improviser than any. I do get that 100%. I mean, the guy's a magician. To me, he's like a Larry Bird, Magic Johnson on the court, eyes in the back of the head. He can find anybody at any opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love Jalen Hurts, and I literally was texting some of my fellow Eagles fans saying like, man, Jalen Hurts is an MF and warrior. Like what a stud. I mean, especially with that Devontae Smith pass, and for me. I mean, put it this way, I'm totally very, very content to have Jalen Hurts as my quarterback. But that being said, I think Pat Mahomes is like an alien. I mean, Pat Mahomes is the only guy I would take over Jalen Hurts. But Jalen, I mean, as great as much as I love Jalen Hurts, I would just have to go Pat Mahomes. I just have to. He's got a longer track record at this point.
Sure. I mean, your records state for it. I mean, look at the years that he had, Joe. He hasn't missed AFC championship his whole entire career. He gets you to the promised land, he wins it, but not taking anything from Jalen Hurts. I tell you what, I coach offense up here, and with Jalen Hurts threw that dime to Devontae Smith in the end zone. I mean, Joe, talk about just putting your hands out and the ball dropping. I even said, "Holy shit, that was a dime. That was a ball." You know.
Well, so here's one. So I kind of equate it like this, and maybe some of the people out there can put their opinion, but. Mm-hmm. I see Pat Mahomes' career as like a Tom Brady type career. Now, listen, no, wait, let me hang on. I'm not saying he's going to be the GOAT, right? And I'm not even saying he's going to win 7 Super Bowls. But what I mean is like Mahomes is that dude where like every single year it wouldn't shock me if he won 4 or 5 Super Bowls at least, right?
Right.
Now Jalen Hurts I think is great, and I think he's a great quarterback. It wouldn't surprise me if Jalen Hurts maybe had a Ben Roethlisberger type career, as far as like, you know how like while Tom Brady was in 10 Super Bowls and won like 6 or 7, well, Roethlisberger was in 3 and 1 too. Now, as an Eagles fan, I would sign up for that shit right now. I'll sign up for 2 Super Bowls and 3 appearances right this very second.
Hey, Joe, can I just get
kind of what I think?
I'll tell you what, Joe. Can I just sign up for a 2nd round playoff appearance, brother? You know what I mean? Come on, brother. We're talking about Super Bowls here. Can I just get to the 2nd round, Joe? Come on, man. You know?
You sound like a Sixers fan, except well, we're trying to get past the 2nd round.
Right. Hell, I'm trying to get out of the 1st round, bro. You know, like it's been 27 years, Joe, going on 28 maybe, you know? So I keep it real there. Mark Gordon chimes in. He says, Hurts is up there when it's 3rd and 4th and short. I can't stand when he throws a deep ball into coverage. I mean, you got to keep the defense honest, though. But he does make – do you think he makes bad reads, Joe? Because I had somebody chime in today saying that he makes bad reads at the wrong time. I don't see that.
No, not at all. He made one bad read where he tried to throw to A.J. Brown when there was like 2 or 3 guys. But I mean, I'm not going to shit on the guy over one bad read. I mean, like I think 95% of the time Jalen Hurts making very good, accurate reads. I just think that, you know, and in all fairness to Jalen, though, A.J. Brown has been putting up unbelievable numbers, and he comes down with the ball a lot. So, you know, sometimes he does throw it up to him and goes, hey, let my receiver make a play, you know?
Yeah, with the perfect example, I think Devontae Smith, the dude can high point any ball, Joe. You throw it up a little bit high, regardless of where it's at. The kid goes up and makes plays. So you don't have to be that 100% accurate. But Jalen Hurts, man, I tell you what, coming from his first year where, you know, playing at Alabama, going to Oklahoma, his bugaboo was he really can't throw a dime. He really can't throw a dart. He can't be accurate. Well, ever since then, I mean, he's proven everybody out there wrong, correct?
Yeah, I mean, even myself. And listen, I loved all Jalen Hurts when Jalen Hurts first played. I loved all his intangibles. You know what I mean? Like, you know, 2021, I was like, man, the kid's a winner. You know, I like the way he controls the locker room. I like the way the guys battle for him. I like the way the running game plays with him. Wasn't 100. I can't sit here and lie to you and say that I was 100% sold on the kid. I mean, I really liked him. Then last year, I mean, I don't know. I can't name many quarterbacks that I've seen that have taken such a leap that Jalen Hurts did. I mean, he literally the improvement he showed from 2021 to last year. Okay. Now I know last year he was like, you know, MVP candidate. And, you know, I know a lot of people out there are saying, oh, you know, the Eagles, you know, they're not playing at the same level as last year, but, you know, yada, yada, yada. Well, they're still 8-1.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is Jalen Hurts is out there gimpy with and making all kinds of plays from the pocket. I mean, the guy, you know, I mean, I know he made a couple runs tonight, but he's beating people from the pocket, which is something that people didn't think he could do, and he's doing it.
Yeah, it's one of those things called, you know, you can beat me with your legs, but you're beating with your arm here. Now pick your poison. Which Jalen you want? You know, he can show you both sides of the globe here. But Joe, let's get through all these comments. We got quite a few comments. I appreciate everybody checking in. I really do tonight. Thank you so much. Let's see. TJ says, Micah Parsons really wants to be an Eagle. Well, yeah, I mean, hey, listen, you know, hey, it is what it is, you know.
Yo, can he? Can he?
No.
Come on, man.
No, Joe. No.
Come on. You don't need him.
No, we don't. Right, we don't need him. We have to have him, brother. You know. Mark Gordon says Dak put his team on his back today. He always plays well against Philly.
Does.
Yes. He really does. I mean, his record shows, you know, he's really a solid quarterback against the right opportunity with the right team here. And he says, I wanted to get Sam P. right. I wanted a bigger back. I didn't care who it was. Hell, I would have took maybe a Fournette just to give that big 1-2 punch because just like Joe said, you miss him. You miss Zeke in that red zone. You know, that 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. You miss him. And he could have used him tonight, Zeke, you know. But
yeah, I was going to say, I didn't miss him.
I know you didn't, Joe. The hell, I know I did, brother. You know, I was about to call up Zeke. You know, I lost his damn phone number. He changed it on me. Like, please come back. But Pollard is a good change of pace back. And Eddie, you're 100% right.
I agree with that.
Exactly. I mean, you have thunder and lightning. You know, Zeke didn't have the speed anymore. Of course, he ran out of his rubber, you know, the treads. But Zeke was that power back, going to back like when I go back to the Dallas Cowboy days of Marion Barber, Julius Jones.
Yes.
Those days, the thunder and lightning.
That's exactly. You know what's funny? That's exactly what I was thinking. In fact, when I see Pollard, I feel like he's your version of our Charlie Garner back in the day.
The thunder and lightning, right, exactly. You know, you have to have that 1-2 punch.
You're missing your Ricky Waters.
Yeah. Hell, if he wasn't taking some, you know, weed out there, hell, maybe he can make a comeback. I'll take him right now too. No, I wouldn't take his ass, but you know, Adam checks in. He says, "We're surprised you didn't require Zeke at the deadline." That's one of the things we talked about too. You know, he went for cheap, and he's still sufficient. He would have played for I don't think he would have played for the league minimum. I don't know what his contract was, but I was very surprised. You had to go out and get him back. You released Ronald Jones for the drug issue. You know, you downsize. You have Rico Dowdy and Deuce Vaughn, 2 guys under 185 pounds total.
Yeah.
You know, you have to go out and be it back. I'm very surprised at him. I really am.
Yeah, I think it's a really big oversight on your guys' part.
Yeah, big time, Joe. Big time. Even at the trade deadline, I mean, why couldn't we go out and get a name, you know, guy? I said this on the show earlier, Joe, about the trade deadline the last week. Why not go out and get a Derrick Henry? You're a high upper echelon team here. You're going to be in the 25 to 31 category for draft pick. Go out and get a guy. It's time to win now. You need that player to get you to the promised land now. Don't rebuild. This is not a rebuild year for us. We're there now, you know.
Yep.
You know what? Speaking of one person that always was a Jalen Hurts fan, I got to give this guy credit so much. Hell of a game by Ryan Smitty. Ryan Smitty has been one guy that's always said Jalen Hurts is the guy. And Ryan, I give you credit. You know, my thing is we watch a lot of college football. Joe, you same way. This guy's pedigree from Alabama, getting you to the promised land, losing, get kicked out of the SEC championship game, come back for Tua. He gets hurt. He comes back, taking you to the promised land, leaves, goes to Oklahoma, finished second to Heisman. This dude has one thing that you can't teach. It's called heart, Joe. He's always been a winner.
He does. He's a warrior. And one thing about my man Smitty, dude, I mean, he's always been on Jalen Hurts, and also he was on Maxi. He was on Maxi from the very beginning too.
He was.
And
so
he knows his stuff, man. You could check Smitty out on the Santa Boot First podcast on Thursday nights. He brings the heat, man. But my man, I give him props because he was on Hurts before I was. I mean, like I said, I liked Hurts. I can't lie. I liked Hurts intangibles. See, and he knows. He goes, I've been telling you about Hurts. Exactly.
Yeah,
and
I remember the first time I ever did a show with Smitty, you know, at Devereaux Sports there in the Crack Bell studio, and Smitty was sitting next to me, and he I mean, listen, I thought I was going to give Smitty a contract for being, you know, Jalen Hurts' PR guy here. I was like, damn, just sign the contract, bro. Like, you know, but hey, he spoke the truth, and
he was. You know what's funny, Smitty was almost like Sean Puffy Combs in draft day. When, you know what I mean? With Bo Cal, he was almost like I was gonna say he was almost Hurts' agent, like Puffy Combs was Bo Callahan's agent.
Right, 100%. But yeah, I give credit where credit's due, brother. You've been there you've been Maxi and Hurts, so you know, 100%. Ryan also says these are the two best teams. After seeing tonight, I mean, I really believe that. You know,
I agree.
San Francisco they got their day, but there's glimpses of who is Purdy. Without CMC riding the whole season, without Debo, they don't look the same. They made upgrades going out and get Chase Young, but Chase Young's been injury prone, of course, so we don't know. I mean, what I've seen tonight, I've seen the best two teams in the NFC so far, Joe.
Well, and you know what's ironic too, because I know with Brock now Brock Purdy, I'm not going to shit on Purdy because I feel like he's been very good since he's come into since he started playing until the last couple weeks. Now it's funny because I was listening to I think it was like WIP or something a couple weeks, week and a half ago or whatever, and Ross Tucker was on. He was talking about Purdy and he was saying how it's ironic that like people were saying, I think it was right after the Niners lost to Minnesota. He was talking, Purdy made a couple bad picks at the end. And he was saying how a lot of fans out there thought that Purdy is like this quote unquote game manager. But one of the knocks on Purdy coming out of college was that he does throw a lot of picks and make some bad. And all of a sudden, I'm almost wondering if maybe like a little over a year into playing, if teams are really starting to study the film on Purdy and he's starting to, because do you remember last year? I know you remember because it was when you guys played them. There was at least 2 or 3 passes in that playoff game where you guys just missed interceptions.
Yeah, there was almost a pick six to the house. It was an underthrown ball right to the release wide receiver coming up the edge. That could have been a pick six, but yeah, Joe, exactly what you said. I mean, he played at Iowa State, the Cyclones there,
right?
And the Iowa State Cyclones, they are more running attack. They're more of a ground attack. They don't throw the ball a lot. But looking back at his film, I think they're looking at that because if you put him in positions, different kind of scheme looks, and that's something a lot of teams can do. They could show you a blueprint how to beat Purdy right now. And the thing is, when you come in your first year, Joe, we already know your first year, there's no tape on you in the NFL, brother.
Yeah.
The second year is a learning curve. You see how players are. They figured Zeke out the second year. They figured Dak out the second year. You don't see tape on them, how they utilize. Then you go to the game film room and you say, okay, this is what the tendencies are. This is how you beat them. So, I mean, going back, I think Dallas and Eagles are 1 and 2. Of course, the Eagles are number 1 there real quick. This is a great comment here from Smitty. He says, football is a game of inches, and that was a war. It definitely was tonight, Joe.
Well, yeah. No argument. And one more comment, real quick, one last thing on the Niners. Like, Niners have a ton of talent. I mean, CMC is unbelievable. Yeah. But I like you said, we're all in agreement, or we're in agreement as far as I think these two are the best two teams, and I think I think the main reason is the quarterback position, because I know it's easy. Listen, it's easy for people to go out there and shit on Dak, because that people love to be like, oh, Dak's garbage, Dak's LaShawn McCoy, Dak's ass. No, Dak's not.
I've seen that. I've seen his little show. Oh my God, dude.
But as good as the 49ers are, I think the reason that I think both these teams are better is I still have more. I have more faith in Dak, and I definitely have way more faith in Jalen Hurts than I do Brock Purdy. So that's why, what I mean? That I think that's the biggest separation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. Let's go read all the comments here before we got here. Some call it throwing in coverage, others call it giving a wide. That's what we talk about Devontae Smith. You throw the ball up to this kid. I've never seen a kid that size can go up and climb the ladder like this kid does, Joe. Devontae Smith is something special. That something about those Alabama wide receivers, man. I don't know what the hell it is, Joe.
Yeah.
Mark Gordon says, I agree, Paul, when it's late and crucial situation to get the first down. Yeah, I mean, it's time management, moving the sticks, of course. I get that. Ryan, dude is a warrior, as is him. Moment, he never gets too big. Exactly. He lives for the moment, man. Yeah. He doesn't back down for the moment. Like, Joe, what's the song by Eminem? I know you referenced this many times.
Yeah, you got to lose yourself in the music, the moment you own it, right?
Yes, exactly. He lives up to the moment. He lives for those times, brother.
Hey, you know what, hey, man, let's keep it real, man. If Jalen was a rapper and people were shitting on him, he'd be up there saying, hey, and Dak Prescott, he's got two. Wait, it would be like, and Dak Prescott, he's got two parents, and they have a good marriage. You know what I mean?
yeah, 100%. Smitty says, anyone questioning Hurts' play is a clown. No disrespect to Eagles fans. Listen, you'll never hear that from me, Smitty. I've always said I love Jalen Hurts. Going back to the draft, Joe, we were friends during the draft, and I said, damn, I want Jalen Hurts on that, third, second round pick. I want Jalen Hurts because to me, he's maybe a sit on the bench type guy for Dak 1 year. Dak goes down, dude. I got a starting quarterback. I've always loved Jalen. Anybody that disrespects Jalen Hurts, dude, I'm going to tell you what. I'll take your freaking Eagles card from you. I'll tell you that 100% right now. Honestly, yeah. Let's see. Eddie already said this. I wanted Sam Pirine from Denver. Hell, I just wanted a back, brother. I just wanted a big back, honestly. You know what I mean? I have to have a big back. TJ says, I'll be pissed if Michael leaves Dallas. Eddie, I'm sorry. TJ, I'll be pissed if Michael leaves Dallas to become an Eagles fan. Listen, if that ever happens, brother, I don't know if I can ever live another moment, honestly, Joe. I can't see Michael Parsons being an Eagles jersey. Can't do it.
And they never let they'd franchise him. Micah Parsons is never going to leave Dallas, at least until he's maybe when he's like maybe it'd be like a DeMarcus Ware type thing where it's like years down the road.
I agree. Mike says tonight's game was 1 of 3. We already said that it's going to be around 3. We definitely can see that. I need to get some decaf coffee for the next 2 weeks. Well, Mike, I don't think you need decaf, brother. I think you need to stay awake. And, brother, I'll tell you what you can do right now. If you want to stay awake, bro, here's what you need to do. You need to go to monkeycoldcoffee.com, the evolution of flavor-infused coffee. You like bourbon chocolate chip? They got it. You like coconut rum? They got it. Samaritan blend? They got it. You want to be organic? Get some Perula, Florida. And make sure you use promo code OTBS Sports at monkeycoldcoffee.com. While you're there, get some swag. Get the T-shirt. Get the coffee mug. Get the K-cup. Get the cold brew diffuser. Get the travel mug. Whatever that you want, they got it. Make sure you use promo code OTBS Sports at the checkout at monkeycoldcoffee.com. So, see, Mike, we got you covered there, bro. Get some coffee. But, yeah, it's let's get through the comments here, Joe, because it's getting late for us here. Purdy's a very good game manager when he's with a healthy offense. It shows when you didn't have Deebo and CMC, a little bit different. Yeah. AJ Brown is a good. Yeah, he's also good. I mean, he's more of a physical receiver too that can demand space. Let's see. Jalen has always been down in his football career. He has a chip on his shoulder, and that's the one thing when you play with a chip on your shoulder and you're not afraid to go out and live the moment. It shows, man, and he definitely has. I mean, he's played back fiddle his entire career, Joe. Being the man at Alabama and losing his job there, going to Oklahoma, coming second to the Heisman Trophy, coming to the Eagles, and hearing everybody say he's not going to be the quarterback of the future. He can't throw the ball. He can't read assignments. Well, dude, I'll take you I'll take you any day on my team.
You know what? The impressive thing about Jalen, you talked about a chip on your shoulder. And listen, I'm not comparing him. As good as Jalen is, obviously I'm not comparing him to these two guys because these two guys were arguably the top 2 greatest quarterbacks to ever play in the National Football League. But 2 guys that had chips on their shoulders, Tom Brady, 6th-round pick, right?
Yeah.
Another guy that had a chip on his shoulder, Joe Montana, 3rd-round pick. Too small, not strong enough for him. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is those 2 guys, so let's not get carried away, at least not yet. But as far as mentality, he has that warrior mentality mindset of I am not going to be denied. I'm going to find a way to make this play. And like we said before, just like Mark Gordon says, Hurts is a warrior, no denying that he's a special guy.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a mentality that you can't teach. Some guys are born with that shit. They're born with that fire, and some guys have it and some guys don't. And Hurts has it along with Montana and Brady. And you know what? The other guy, another guy that has, I think Mahomes has it too. If we're being honest, but there are many that have it. You know what I mean? But
and the craziest thing is, Joe, we're seeing this so young in their careers. Mahomes and how young he is as well. We're seeing this in Jalen's career, being a young age. That's something a veteran you might see. We didn't see Brady come out of the box and just be lighting up the fire. We're seeing this in a category being a rookie still, basically in the league. Compared to these guys we're talking about.
Yeah, I'll tell you another guy that might have it too. I'm watching the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow has it too.
If they can protect him, they can stay healthy, Joe.
I think Burrow's a dog too. If we're being honest, like he's one of the top guys. I think he's got it.
True. Eddie says the perfect song for Jalen Hurts is "I Won't Back Down." That's very true too. I mean, I like the Eminem song, but Eddie says losing Micah would be like losing DeMarcus Ware all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it would be exactly on the defense side, like. I just can't see one player I cried, Joe. I told you this before. I cried when 2 players left the Cowboys. I really did. I shed tears. Number 1 was Emmitt Smith. When he went to Arizona, I cried. I lost everything for him. I couldn't stand him until his Hall of Fame speech where he stood up there and says, that guy right there, Daryl Johnston, is my brother. I wouldn't be here without him. Gave credit to him. Then it brought back okay, I feel good for you now. You're back in my heart here. And Jason Witt was the other one. Jason Witt's my favorite player for the Cowboys all time. Losing him to go to the Raiders, I cried as well, but I couldn't see Micah going anywhere else.
Those were two guys I obviously didn't like because they were Cowboys, but no, I mean,
But
only,
respect, though. Yeah.
only because they were Cowboys. Because truth be told, Emmitt Smith to me always seemed like a class act, and he was a great pro. And same deal with Jason Witten. And I mean, I had to hate him because of his laundry, but like if you took the Cowboy off him, I'd really like him, and I respected the hell out of both of them.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain players that you hate because of the jersey they're wearing, but outside of that, like, wow, this dude's a stand-up dude. I wouldn't mind having him on my team. There's quite a few on the Eagles that I would love to have. Speaking of Sully Squad tomorrow night at 6 p.m., Joe, your co-host is checking in here. Great game, Cowboys, the second best team in the conference. I agree, Diego. I really do, 100%. He also says Hurts is a dog. Yeah, exactly. He's 100% dog. I mean. He's showing it, man. He's definitely showing it. It's something that's special that he's doing right now. It really is. Adam says Wentz lost it. Wentz had in the beginning here, Joe. It looked like he hadn't started his career, but it fizzled out. The difference between him and Hurts, it ain't going to happen to Hurts, brother. It ain't going to happen to this kid.
Well, knock on wood. I'm knocking on wood right now because, when Hurts got hit in the knee with that helmet, I was having flashbacks to Los Angeles that one Sunday when Carson Wentz was diving for the end zone because Hurts got hit. I mean, not Hurts. Excuse me. Wentz got hit with the helmet to the knee like this very similarly, and I was like, "Oh my God, is history repeating itself right now?"
Is that the one when he was diving into the end zone, Joe?
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. Yeah, I just don't think he's going to lose it here. I might be playing that Jedi mind trick on you again, Joe. Like saying he's not going to lose it here. Hopefully it's working here, but definitely not going to work with Jalen Hurts. Let's see. Eddie says Hurts is easily that dude. 100%. I agree. Coming from a Cowboys fan, I agree, man. 100%. I give the dude credit. Diego says couldn't stand Jason Witten, but
that's good. Yeah, I mean he killed the Eagles. I still remember that Sunday night in 07 where he ran
helmetless.
With no helmet.
Yeah, I have that little thing over there. Right up there in the frame. But the thing is, you would love him on your team if you could have a chance to sign him back in the day. I think anybody would.
Well, of course. I mean, listen, we've talked about this before. I mean, to like Tony Romo. Like I told you many times, like of course. When the Eagles played Tony Romo, I hated him because he played for the Cowboys. But I've always said if Tony Romo played on another team in the NFL, I would have loved his story. I mean, the guy was an undrafted freaking player, and look at what he did with his career as an undrafted free agent from freaking Eastern Illinois. I mean, it's actually. I mean, I know he never won you a Super Bowl, but I mean, it's actually. You think about what that guy did with his career coming from a school like that and not being drafted. I mean, that's really impressive stuff. You know what I mean?
To me, like one of those Disney movies. We got like a Kurt Warner situation. Go from the Iowa Barnstormers to bagging groceries to the Super Bowl. It's one of those stories that how can you not like? Plus, he dated Jessica Simpson and Carrie Underwood, brother. You know what I mean? Like, come on. What?
I was gonna say, well, Bill Parcells didn't like that too much.
No, he didn't. Mark Gordon says, I think Burrow, Mahomes, and Hurts have the factor. Herbert and Allen can put up stats, but the other three and show up in big games. I agree with that. I think we have tier 1, tier 2. I will put Jalen Hurts up in the category as tier 1. I think to me right now there is 2. It's going to be Jalen Hurts and a Mahomes, and then you're going to have Burrows most likely right in there. Hurts, Herbert's going to be in that 3 or 4 range, but he needs an OC that can stay there. Kellen Moore has been the OC this year. He needs that legitimate OC to give him the foundation, and I can see him doing something a little bit better as well. Mm-hmm. But we'll get through all the comments here, Joe, so we can get out of here. Joe, I loved it when Harold Carmichael signed with Dallas in '83. Is what he says there.
Yeah, see, I was a little too young. That I would have hated that, but I was still young too. 15.
I
was gonna say I started watching football in '86. So my first great Eagles Cowboys memory was the game where Buddy Ryan did the fake spike after Tom Landry with they had to replace. You guys had the Randy White and all them guys cross the picket line and kick the Eagles' ass. So then a few weeks later, Buddy Ryan did a fake kneel down and ran up the score. And I was like, oh my, and being a little kid, I was like, this is fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Diego says, tell you who shrinks in big games? Josh Allen.
He does,
He
actually.
does. He
A lot of
does.
turnovers.
Big time. Big time. Yep. When the time's on the line, he actually doesn't show up. Diego says should have been a flag on the Cowboys when they hit Hurts low. What do you think about that?
I'd have to watch when I first saw it, to be honest with you, I feel like he kind of got blocked into him. I got to see it again. Truthfully, yeah. I was so concerned with Hurts' knee that honestly, I wasn't even really worried about the circumstance. I was just like, oh my God, is he all right?
Yeah, so I think I'm in the same boat.
I'd have to look at it again.
Yeah, me too. I got to look at that same situation there. Like as a fan of the game, being a Cowboys fan, I'm not going to jump up and say, "Oh shit, he's out of the game. This helps us." I don't want to see that. My thing is, I want to beat you at full strength. You beat me at full strength. That's what I want. Best teams play. But I got to go back and look at that. I didn't see it because a lot of times we say, "Oh, bogus call." He went right to the leg. A lot of times you see these players get blocked into him. So we got to go back and look at that one, of course. We'll get to the comments when we get out here, Joe. I saw I said that already, but Hurts is mentally tougher than Wentz. I 100% agree with that. 100%.
Yep.
Eddie says no worries about Hurts losing it. 100%. I don't think he'll ever lose it. Adam checking in. He said Romo is very similar to Kurt Warner. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think Kurt Warner has a better story, though. You know what I mean? I really do.
Well, he won the. Yeah, I mean, he won the Super Bowl, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Chiefs' office isn't the same this year. I agree with that. But Diego, let me ask you this real quick, or you can mention this on your show tonight if you're still checking in, or tomorrow, whenever. If you put Hurts on the Kansas City Chiefs team and you put Patrick Mahomes on the Eagle team, who's more elite? That's my question. I was 10. Wow. Yeah, we are old, aren't we, Joe? We are.
We are.
Yeah, man. Jesus. 37-20. Remember it. Yeah, there you go, Mark. Kelsey got into Hurts on that play. Okay, so it was Kelsey. It was Kelsey that hit him?
Yeah, like I said, I'd have to see it again.
Okay. Yeah, I got to go back and look at that as well. I have to look at that one. Another play, go back, the missed face mask on the Eagles corner, same play the Cowboys got tagged on BG's face. No, I agree. There's 100% missed calls out there. I mean, we talked about a lot of, there was a lot. It was both sides, Diego. I'm not blaming refs on any point. You will never hear me say that. Listen, missed calls, to me, it's a play on, but if you miss one, I would like to see somewhere down the line, Joe, maybe where if it's a bogus call, maybe you get one extra challenge on a face mask or something out there, because a lot of these games are going down to the wire, Joe. Bogus calls are missing too much. And my thing, I've always said this, Joe, is how the referee walks out with the yardsticks out to the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Why are we basing a game of inches on this son of a bitch to walk straight out to the damn yard line? What if he just he moves over to the left just an inch, Joe? That means you're short an inch or you got the first down by an inch. Why can't we get cameras out there? These infrared cameras go straight out to the line, ball points there. He's short by this much. He's made it by this much. I don't ever referee walking down, to the hash marks, holding the sticks out there. That son of a bitch could pull just a little bit too hard, Joe, and say you're short.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I back in the day I used to watch CSI Miami. Where's Horatio Kane out there with the freaking infrared? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean, they used to be he could sit there and spot like the little, the fucking guy leaves like one little fucking speck of blood, and next thing, and it's always ironic. They always find the killer at the end of the show. It's amazing. Like the greatest detectives ever.
Exactly. 100%. Mahomes, that's not even close. I agree with you. I agree. I know your answer, Diego. I heard you say that many a times when I listened to you on the Sully Squad. I agree with you 100%. It's not even close. Is regarding Kurt Warner here. Super Bowl and 2 MVPs, 100%. We both agree there. They were missed penalties on both teams. Parsons also. Yeah, we talked about that, Joe. He was held twice. So was Reddick on one point where he almost had Dak dead to rights on a sack there. He was held. So, I mean, it goes both ways. I'm never going to argue a ref unless it's a crucial play, down to the line, last play of the game where it's not called. Then I'll say something, but it goes both ways, man. I repped in PIAA, and I'm not going to lie. I was kicked out of PIAA because I was a sideline judge, Joe. I love offense. I'm watching the son of a – I'm going to have the line of scrimmage. I'm watching a wide receiver catch the ball 30 yards downfield, and I'm like, ooh, good catch. Clear, blatant hold on the play, Joe. And I'm getting an earful from, their fans. I'm like, sorry, I missed it. Very simple.
It's fun. It's funny. Going back to your point about seeing if they'll have a coach's challenge over a call. You know what'll happen. What'll be the impetus to it is if there's a major miscue in the playoffs. Then the rules committee. It wouldn't shock me if that becomes a thing in the next year or two.
Right, I mean, we go back to the calls, Joe, not to carry on here, but what was the game where the shit? I totally forgot it now.
Was it the Rams and the Saints? And
Yes, thank
the
you.
championship
The
game?
PI call, the blatant PI, hit, 5 minutes before the ball even arrived. That one there, going back like some of that. That was a costly play.
I was going to say that was probably that was like one of the top. That might have been the worst missed call I've ever seen, and that cost the Saints a trip to the Super Bowl.
Big time, big time. I mean, you're letting the refs decide here. I mean, Eddie says it was Kelsey's helmet that knocked into Jalen Hurts there. So I want to go back and look at it.
I got to see it again. I'm sure we could I'm sure we'll be able to see it on Twitter or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's probably all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be on their Twitter somewhere. No doubt, Warner is just better. It's a similar story. Yeah, I agree with that one. Hurts won't lose. He's mentally tough. Yes. Paul, there's no call pass.
Oh, yeah,
there it is
right.
there. Yeah, thank you, Eddie. Exactly. You remember that one there. Yep. No problem. I got my name there. No problem, Eddie. Well, Joe, listen, we got one last comment here before we get out of here, brother. The Saints wide receiver got assaulted. Yeah, he needed to. Speaking of that, that just tells me something, Joe. I wish this game was in Philadelphia, Joe, because he got assaulted, didn't he, Joe? That wide receiver, I tell you, he got assaulted.
He did, and you know what? If you get assaulted, I know there's or if you get assaulted or a personal injury, because unfortunately, unfortunately Dallas Goedert got hurt in this game. Now, Dallas Goedert's a rich millionaire, so he doesn't have to get money for being injured. But right. if you get hurt on the job, you might want to call my man Jason Fine, aka Attorney Big Al. Motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workers' compensation, or like we said, personal injury claims. He's got 3 offices throughout the Pennsylvania, New Jersey area. He's got one in Philadelphia, PA, one in Cherry Hill, and one in Pittsburgh, PA. The guy in the guy for the Saints, he was SOL, Paul. He was in New Orleans.
Yeah, we can't handle him. We can't help him.
I'm sure they got a Jason Fine type guy in New Orleans, but let's keep it real. There's only one Attorney Big Al. So, if you're in New Orleans, man, you're kind of fucked, dude. Move to PA. That's all. I'll give you that.
Hey, so just a public service now from Out of the Box Sports here in the 215 boys. If you're a Cowboys fan, you got injured at the link tonight, or an Eagle fan pushed you, whatever happened, make sure you call 1-800-HURT-123. Mention Out of the Box. 33 and 30% guaranteed, no recovery, no fee. Mention Out of the Box, and I promise you, you might even get me on the phone if you call 1-800-HURT-123, because I do cover the Pittsburgh area. If we take your case, 33 to 30%. So
yeah, and you know what, and you know what, since you're talking about Eagles, Cowboys, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully, this was a really good game, and and let's keep it real, Paul. I mean, you and I, you and I are friends. We obviously you're a Cowboys fan, I'm an Eagles fan.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we're all passionate football fans, but hopefully people aren't taking it so seriously that there's like fisticuffs in the parking lot and all that kind of stuff. Because, at the end of the day, whether you're a Cowboys fan or an Eagles fan, they're not paying our bills. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully somebody out there, or actually maybe Attorney Big Al actually would welcome this because it give them some business. But hopefully somebody's not in the parking lot getting jacked the hell up right now over this game. You know what I'm saying? But if you do and you have a personal injury, call Big Al.
Damn right. Eddie, thank you so much for checking in, man. We appreciate it. Great show, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, 100%, Joe. Like, I was telling you earlier, I used to live in Philadelphia for 35 years. And, of course, Philadelphia fans, they know they go down to Frankfurt Common. You've been there quite a few times to celebrate big victories, those things. I lived right outside the Chicken Pete's, 4 doors down from there. Joe, the worst feeling of my life, where me, I will give credit where credit's due. I will congratulate real fans, quote, real fans. I stood out there in 2017 when the Eagles won the Super Bowl right outside my doorsteps, and I knew half the neighborhood, everybody coming down. I shook every one of those Eagles fans that I knew and said, congratulations. And all I heard back was like, thank you, thank you. Those fans I congratulate because, Joe, a lot of people call me bandwagon. Brother, I don't see how I could be that from 1995, and I'm still loving my team. You're the same way. Notre Dame, 1988, Joe. We can't be bandwagon fans for that long. You know what I mean? Hell, I would have jumped ship every year so far, brother. I was gonna say, nice performance from Notre Dame yesterday. Another L. Joe, you know how bad that post game show was?
It's I don't know. I don't. I mean, 1988, dude. I don't know, man. We might be like in nursing homes with sippy cups by the time they win again.
Well, I'm going to have it twice as hard, Joe. Cowboys and Irish, brother. Yeah, I might just go to AA. I might check myself in now, brother. Really, definitely will. But yeah, Joe, listen, man, I want to appreciate you hopping on. Once again, I want to congratulate you and the Philadelphia Eagles fans out there on a victory tonight. Superior team won, man. I don't look at it, as any other way. The better team won. A win is a win. 8-1. You guys move on to your bye week, get healthy. And the other thing is we'll be doing this again in 3 weeks, brother.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, shoot, I had a lot of fun. So yeah, if you want me to, maybe I'll hop on again next time we play.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. And there's Eddie. He's a Cowboys fan as well. 1979 for me. Wow, 79. I tell you, how I became a Cowboy fan is I met Roger Staubach in 77 when he was in Oxnard, California. My dad was in the military. We were going to Disney. My dad took me there. I didn't know who the dude was, but ever since then, I repped the star. Didn't care. Never changed. Moving to Philadelphia, it didn't bother me. Still a Cowboys fan no matter what. I'll die a Cowboys fan. I tell Katie today when I die, just burn me in a jersey. Burn me in a Cowboys jersey. That's all I want. That's all I want to do. Take it to my grave.
Well, remember, one quick shout out about a death, because you were talking about being buried with it. Remember, Coach Bob Knight? He always said bury him with what? Didn't he say bury him with his butt up, with his ass up or something, so everybody kiss his ass?
Yeah, exactly. It's like all the naysayers out there. When I'm buried, I want to be ass up, so all you haters can kiss my ass.
Yeah. I was gonna say rest in peace to Coach Knight. He had a hell of a career.
Yeah, and Joe, real quick, I want to give a shout out to a very special person. I don't know him personally, but he's a Cowboy fan that he's very dear and heart to. Mike Lauro and Evan Lauro. His name is George Canals. He passed away last year, and every Cowboy season from now on, I don't have the banner up tonight, but I want to dedicate this show to him, George P.W. Canals. He passed away last year. Huge Cowboy fan. We did like a little opening for him last year. So, Ed, if you and your families out there listening, brother, keep watching over the Dallas Cowboys. My dad always told me that's the reason why they have a hole in the roof, for God to watch down and all his angels as well. And I know you're up there watching, brother. Sorry they couldn't get a win for you tonight, but I know it meant the world to you. But George, we're thinking about you, man, you and your family out there. So, bury him upside down. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, Bob Knight. Yeah.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Bob Knight. I'm an Indiana Hoosier fan, diehard Indiana Hoosier fan too. So, all right, brother, you ready to get out of here, man?
Yeah, definitely. But it's been fun now.
Definitely. Hey, guys, my name is Paul Spencer. Joe will be back on tomorrow night, 6 p.m. with the Sully Squad. Joe, what's on topic tomorrow night, real quick?
Well, number one topic is this game, of course. That's going to be the main one. And the red-hot Philadelphia 76ers, four wins in a row. Only team in the NBA to have 4 20-point scorers. And of course the James Harden trade. In my opinion, I like the assets that they got, and it's a little bit of addition by subtraction because you gave Tyrese Maxey the keys to the Beamer. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He's got the keys to the Beamer.
Yep. And I tell you what, Joe, Kelly Oubre, that's all I'm going to say. What one hell of a signing, brother.
Yeah, definitely. For vet minimum, that's key. So we'll get into all that. Maybe even a little Flyers. Flyers are winning some, losing some, but I like the direction they're going. So we'll get into all that and much more tomorrow night. And of course, a lot of just NFL talk in general.
Definitely. So check them out, Sully Squad, tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Keeping it real there. The Sully Squad will be live. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Sully Squad, face YouTube, Twitch, Twitter's Alley Walks also. Denise Taylor, our last comment tonight. Yes, we were watching. Thank you for shout out to my son. Hey, listen, Cowboy fans, we're far and few. We respect everybody that loves the Stars. So we're there in heart with you. So, George, if you're up there watching this, brother, we know you're listening to us. Miss you, brother. Hey, we'll win a Super Bowl one day for you. I promise you that. Okay. Even if I have to buy one, we'll win one. All right. Yep. So, Joe, let's get out of here, brother. Also, guys, at Out of the Box, we promise you to bring you all shows. We have 22 shows this week. Our new schedule will be out tomorrow morning at 6 p.m. I'm doing it tonight. So check out all the live shows. Make sure you subscribe YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're everywhere. We appreciate all the viewers. Once again, my name is Paul Spencer. That man across from me is Joe Sullivan, a.k.a. The John, and he'll be on tomorrow night. Once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. And congratulations, Eagles. I had to say it. I hate saying it, but congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Joe. Talk to you, brother.
See ya.